Hello, welcome to Game 6 of my match against Terracubist. This is my last match of Season 46, Division B2. So hopefully I can make this a good game. I believe, based on the results of this game, I'm going to promote next season to the A Division, which is moderately terrifying, I'd say. We'll see how that goes. So we've got Goons. We've got City for villages. We've got Council Room for draw. Squire's a village. Library's draw. Paddock's draw. Will be villages eventually. Goons is Goons, obviously. And Faithful Hound is kind of nice against Goons. So the question is, how do we get to the price points that we want to get to buy the cards that we want to buy? So we could just go like Squire or Silver and do that. We could try to go like Rat Squire, but I think it's a little bit too high rolly, where you Rats a Squire into Goons. I don't want like a ton of silvers in the deck, but a couple seems okay. I think silver is the best chance of hitting an early Goons. So that will be my plan. They said BRB, so I can take an extra second here to think about it. Silver is quite likely to hit 5 at least. First 5 would probably be Council Room. And the reason for that is if you play Council Room and then you play Goons, you're okay with having done the attack. I don't think Guildhall is going to come into play. We're not really going to gain many treasures. Road Network could be something you get later, but doesn't seem that useful. So Squire is nice just because you want to add villages into the deck fairly quickly. So I think the plan is to go silver, and if I don't hit 5 twice and hit 3 or 4, I'll just buy a Squire with that. And if I go Squire silver and I don't hit 5 at all, then I'm adding in like another 2 silvers or Squires. And I'm gonna add at least one more card. So silver I think is where I'm gonna end up here. Yes, you add a couple of cities, you add some council rooms. Maybe the cities will pile out. Maybe the Faithful Hounds will pile out. Once the cities are low, then the Faithful Hounds are more useful, and then the Paddocks will run because those will be non-terminal at that point and give you draw. Squires are easy and empty. So, all of those piles, City, Paddock, Squire, Faithful Hound, seem candidates for running out. I figure some council rooms as well. I don't anticipate Noble Brigand or Rats coming into play. Probably we won't buy a library, although library is somewhat nice against Goons. Like Squire Library against Goons lets you draw 5 cards. But that requires you start with those 2 in your hand. And if they're playing with a bunch of council rooms for draw, then you'll get more cards to look at. And I think I would just rather have City Council Room for draw than Squire Library. Well, you'll grab some Squires because you hit low price points and the village effect is not nothing. Faithful Hound will be nice. Yeah, nice against Goons, especially if they're playing Council Rooms and then Goons. You have a better chance of seeing them. Or I guess you just always have them in your hand if they play Goons. So, and then turns where you need them, you can, you start with a bunch in your hand and you can play them. And then hopefully you can draw some against the next Goon's hand, or you can discard them with, well, not really anything, but Library can discard them for whatever that's worth. Probably that interaction won't come up. So, yeah, 6 here is good, I think. This is what we wanted, right? We just get Goons, start getting our attacks in. We have 5 money in the remaining 7 cards, so probably we will hit 3 or 4 next turn. And we just start adding in Squires, I think. And then when we hit 5, we add Council Rooms. When we hit 6, we add Goons. Goons pushing the shuffle is a little bit annoying. Yeah, I thought I was going to be ahead, but my Goon's missing the shuffle. Seems to have taken away some of my first player advantage here, especially if they can play Goons now. Luckily, they could not. So the plan had been to buy a council room here. The question is, do I want to instead go like Squire Hound? I need to get some more villages. I have 2 villages and 3 terminals, but in theory I can maybe get a city next turn. Or I can go Squire Hound and try to do the cheap actions way. If Squires are running, then cities will be more valuable soon too, and kind of somewhat avoid council rooms. I've convinced myself that Squire Hound is the way to go. It looks like their Goons also missed the shuffle. My bottom 6 cards are very bad. I think I'm going to grab a city here because the bottom 6 cards I think will only going to have like 2 money in them. I think I have all of my estates down there. I don't think I've seen any estates next turn. So I think I'm going to grab a city here. And then potentially either another Squire or a Faithful Hound. I had thought, yeah, I hit some weird price points. But the price points are a little bit different. The deck is quite different. So they grabbed a Squire. Yeah, so I'm going to grab a city now. Plan on grabbing a Squire next turn. Yeah, so bottom card's an estate, so it's just bad stuff. And I don't want silvers. I'll go ahead and add 1 more Squire. They've gotten a lot of them, but I have a city, which is now a lab, which is nice. I feel like you can start to add some Faithful Hounds. And this game is very close to being over. I don't know if we just both clumped our money together in such a way that we were able to pile out the Squires so quickly. I do have a Faithful Hound in a city that they don't have. And I think otherwise our decks are identical. I think we're even on Squires. Okay, so they have, yeah, I have 1 city that they don't have is the difference. And I found a Faithful Hound, which is great. Let's start to get that stuff going. Plan here, hopefully, I'm going to draw 4 cards, so most likely going to find a Goons, buy like another city and a Faithful Hound. Or not. Okay. So I'm just going to grab cities here. They seem like the best card for my deck. Especially with the pile empty. City, Faithful Hound, and get a couple of points here. I assume I'm going to get Goons attacked eventually. It can't keep missing forever. Because I'm going to have 2 Goons in play, I'm going to add 2 Faithful Hounds here. With 3 cities and 5 Squires, I should have 8 actions. So some amount of room for the Faithful Hounds. Yeah, I thought council rooms are going to be important, but apparently we're just mostly skipping them. I guess they just picked one up, so. Yeah, because I feel like I want to spend 2 buys here. The points, especially as the piles are running low. I assume this is... I do get to set aside the Faithful Hound, which is great. And grab another city. I should have a couple of cities down there. I'm slightly... I thought I had like 3 cities in this shuffle. Add a Faithful Hound. Pretty sure the bottom 2 cards has a city in it, if not 2. Like City Goons. No, I played the Goons near the top of the shuffle, so I think the bottom 2 cards has at least 1 city in it, maybe 2. We were very close to ending the game. We both only have 2 goons, so 2 VP per card bought. I should have a bunch of cities upcoming in this shuffle. I should have more cities than they do. So if you can play some of the squires for plus buy, we're getting close to a point where you just buy a bunch of coppers with the extra squire buys. Like if I can get to 10 in a turn and buy 2 cities, then I just buy a bunch of extra coppers. 7 is probably not like, I don't want to get leave a city and 2 faithful hounds in the pile and have like 4 extra coppers in the deck, of course. And yeah, road network, Guildhall never going to come into play. Because with the goons, we don't actually need points. Okay, draw. Yeah, bottom 2 cards were cities. Okay, can I win here? Okay, let's go ahead and get the goons out of the way. Actions. So we'll take this for buys. Yeah, so this is 12. So this is just city, faithful hound, copper. And that gives me up to 16 points. Got a bunch of cities. What do I have left in the deck? Not much. So is there any consideration to like city, state? Like I'm lowering the piles a lot. If they can get both goons into play. Although they did play a goons last turn. So they've played both goons this shuffle. So likely they'll get 1 more goons. But getting 2 goons into play seems pretty tough for their deck. I'll have more cities. And I guess I won't take the copper then. I'm planning on it lasting 1 more turn. Yeah, 6-point lead here feels pretty good. It's somewhat tough for me to get to 7, but not impossible. Okay, so this is just 6. So I can take the city if I want. Lowers things quite a bit. I can also just take another goons. So city copper puts me at 17 points. If they get both goons into play, they would just need to buy a faithful hound and a duchy. And that would give them 7 points. Seems like a lot, though. It seems tough for them to get to 7 points. So if I just buy a duchy, that puts me at 19. And, start a clean shuffle where I've got some good cards. Hope to get to 7. And yeah, it would take them. If they get 2 goons in play, they would have to buy City Faithful Hound plus 2 estates to win. City Faithful Hound estate would give them 9 points. It doesn't look like they actually find the goons, which is unfortunate for them. Okay, this should do it. Yeah, I didn't actually need to play the goons. That was unnecessary, but I don't know. I maybe drew a little bit better that game. I'm not quite sure. They went a little bit harder on the squires than I did. I got the extra faithful hounds, but maybe I drew a little bit better there. Near the end, our decks look fairly similar other than the squire difference and the hound difference. So maybe those hounds were helpful. I also got cities earlier. They got the council room, which I don't actually know if they got to play before it ended. Anyways, that's a 4-2 win for me. And the end of my season 46. I will return for season 47. Thank you all for listening.